Considering marriage to a single mother, the complex realities. When the biological father is still involved, choosing to marry a single mother is a profound decision, one often rooted in love and commitment. However, when her child's biological father remains an active presence, the situation transforms from a simple union into a complex web of emotional, spiritual, and practical challenges. This isn't about judgment, it's about clear-eyed awareness. For the man of faith, this decision requires more than romance. It demands rigorous discernment. Let's navigate this layered landscape together. Navigate this guide, the spiritual and moral crucible. The socioeconomic reality. Check the path forward. Is it still possible? Interactive self-reflection questions. The spiritual and moral crucible. A challenge to divine order. From the vantage point of traditional Christianity, Islam, and other conservative faiths, this scenario presents unique spiritual tests that strike at the very heart of biblical and Quranic family design, the unbreakable triad, an enduring tie to another man. The reality: co-parenting necessitates an ongoing, often intimate connection between your future wife and her former partner. They share a history, a child, and a lifelong bond. The spiritual risk. This can be perceived as a fundamental violation of the emotional and relational exclusivity called for in Scripture, Genesis 2:24, and they shall become one flesh. The new husband may perpetually feel like the third wheel in a divinely ordained relationship designed for two. A house divided, the crisis of authority and headship. The reality, in faith. Traditions that uphold male headship, the husband's role as spiritual leader is instantly complicated. The biological father often retains legal and moral authority over major decisions for the child: discipline, education, religious upbringing. The spiritual risk. This creates a dual kingship. Who has the final say? This conflict can undermine your God-given role, leading to confusion, power struggles, and a fractured family unit where your authority is constantly negotiated or vetoed, legitimizing a reversed order. The reality. The divine blueprint is typically presented as marriage first, then children. Entering this union can be seen by your community as validating a deviation from this ideal. The spiritual risk. This may lead to social stigma, isolation from your faith community, or a sense of being perpetually less than in the eyes of your congregation. The temptation of proximity, a door left ajar. The reality. Regular contact, especially in private or emotionally charged settings, for example school events, child handoffs, keeps a door open. The spiritual risk. Scriptures like 1 Corinthians 6:18, flee from sexual immorality, are warnings against placing oneself in the path of temptation. This ongoing proximity can, against all best intentions, lead to rekindled feelings or inappropriate emotional intimacy. The unequally yoked co-parenting triad. The reality. You are not just marrying her, you are marrying her situation. If the biological father holds opposing worldly values, every co-parenting decision becomes a spiritual battle. The spiritual risk. This directly violates the principle of being equally yoked. 2 Corinthians 6:14. Will the child be allowed to go to church? How will moral conflicts be handled? This constant negotiation can drain your spiritual vitality and create relentless discord. The socioeconomic reality check. Beyond idealism. The spiritual challenges are mirrored by hard, practical realities that constrain the strongest of unions. Financial entanglement. You may bear financial responsibility for a child another man has a legal obligation to support. Inconsistent child support or unexpected expenses can create resentment and economic strain. Legal labyrinth. Custody agreements, visitation schedules, and potential court battles are expensive, time-consuming, and emotionally draining. Your life will be scheduled around a legal document negotiated with another man. The step-parent limbo. Your authority may be legally limited. Major decisions may rest solely with the biological parents, leaving you responsible without power, a frustrating and disempowering position. Social capital. In some circles, this union may be met with silent judgment or reduced respect, potentially affecting professional networks or standing within your community. The path forward, is it still possible? Absolutely. But it is a path for the courageous, the secure, and the deeply discerning. It requires turning these risks into pre-negotiated terms of engagement. Success hinges on one non-negotiable factor: boundaries. Crystal clear co-parenting agreements. Is communication solely logistical? Are handoffs done in public? Is the biological father's role strictly defined and respected without allowing encroachment? Unshakable marital unity. You and your wife must present a united front. Her loyalty must visibly and unequivocally shift to you as her husband. Any secretive or overly familiar communication with the ex-partner is corrosive. Radical transparency. There can be no secrets. All interactions with the ex should be assumed to be open knowledge between husband and wife. Preemptive spiritual counseling. Engage with a pastor or imam before marriage to establish a framework for handling the inevitable conflicts. Interactive self-reflection. A moment of honesty. Don't just read this, engage with it. Ask yourself these hard questions. On insecurity. Am I truly secure enough to never be threatened by the presence of another man who shares a permanent biological bond with my wife? On authority. Can I lead with grace and wisdom in a home where my ultimate authority may be legally challenged? On love. Is my love for her robust enough to extend to a situation of perpetual complexity, potential drama, and financial burden? On discernment. Have I prayerfully sought counsel and truly listened to advice from spiritual leaders I trust? On boundaries. Are we, as a couple, prepared to set and defend non-negotiable boundaries to protect our marriage? This path is not for the faint of heart, but for those called to it, equipped with wisdom, boundaries, and unwavering commitment. It can also be a profound journey of redemption, reflecting the relentless covenantal love of God Himself.